Stop scrolling right now, because what you are about to hear may be the very message you were meant to find at this exact moment. This is not an accident. You did not click here by chance. There are seasons in life when everything feels delayed, when doors remain closed, prayers seem unanswered, and your heart quietly wonders if anything will ever change. But listen carefully. There are moments when everything shifts in a single, unexpected instant. One conversation can change your direction. One opportunity can alter your future. One decision can unlock what years of struggle could not. And according to this message, something is already moving toward you. But here is the warning. Not everyone recognizes a blessing when it first arrives. Sometimes the greatest gifts do not come wrapped the way you imagined. They come disguised. They come through unusual timing, unfamiliar people, or circumstances you almost ignored. This is why you must watch until the very end, because somewhere in this message is the exact insight you need to avoid a dangerous mistake many people make right before their breakthrough. There is a trap that has ruined opportunities for countless people. It is subtle, quiet, and easy to miss. It convinces you to hesitate when you should move, doubt when you should trust, and ignore what deserves your full attention. By the time many realize what happened, the moment is already gone. The door has already closed. But today can be different. If you have been feeling unusual pressure lately, unexpected delays, strange emotional heaviness, or a sense that something important is about to happen, do not dismiss it. Often, before major change enters your life, resistance increases. Distraction gets louder, fear becomes more convincing. You begin questioning yourself more than usual. Why? Because what is approaching has the power to shift your entire direction. Stay with this message until the end, because what you hear next may help you recognize what is coming to your life before it reaches your door. And when it does arrive, you will not be caught unprepared. You will know exactly what to do. There are moments in life when what you have been waiting for is not far away in some distant future, but quietly moving closer, step by step, without noise, without announcement, without any visible sign that something is about to change. You may wake up every day thinking nothing is different, everything feels the same, and the answers you have been seeking are still out of reach. But what you cannot see is that certain doors are already being aligned. Certain people are already being positioned, and certain circumstances are already shifting in your favor behind the scenes. This is the part of the journey where faith becomes difficult, because nothing around you confirms what is being prepared for you, and your mind begins to question whether anything is truly happening at all. But just because you cannot see movement does not mean there is no progress, and just because you cannot hear anything does not mean something is not approaching your life with purpose. Many people give up in this exact phase, not realizing they were closer than ever before, and they walk away from what was only moments away from entering their reality. The truth is, divine opportunities often arrive quietly, without warning, and without the dramatic signs you expected. And if your attention is consumed by distractions, worries, or past disappointments, you may overlook what was meant to transform your situation completely. This is why awareness matters more than speed, and why being spiritually alert matters more than being physically busy, because what is coming toward you may not wait for you to feel ready, and it may not repeat itself if ignored. You have to understand that not every opportunity announces itself loudly. Sometimes it simply appears, and it is your responsibility to recognize its value in the moment it presents itself. What you have been asking for, praying for, and hoping for is not lost. It is not forgotten, and it is not being denied. It is simply approaching in a way that requires you to be attentive, prepared, and willing to receive it when it arrives. Because the difference between those who step into new seasons and those who remain where they are often comes down to one simple thing: the ability to recognize that something important was closer than they ever imagined. There are times when the greatest threat to your progress is not failure, not lack of ability, and not even opposition, but distraction. Distraction is subtle, quiet, and often feels harmless, yet it has the power to pull your focus away at the exact moment when clarity is needed the most. Right before something significant enters your life, you may notice an increase in confusion, overthinking, emotional exhaustion, or even a sudden loss of motivation. You start questioning decisions you were once confident about, doubting paths you were once certain of, and feeling overwhelmed by things that normally would not affect you this deeply. This is not always a coincidence. There are moments when distraction becomes the final barrier between you and a breakthrough, because if your attention can be shifted at the right time, you may completely miss what was meant for you. The mind becomes crowded with unnecessary thoughts, comparisons, fears, and what-ifs, and instead of being present and aware, you become mentally distant from your own life. You scroll more, you delay more, you hesitate more, and without realizing it, the moment that required your full attention begins to pass you by. What makes distraction dangerous is that it rarely announces itself as something harmful. It often feels like comfort, like a break, like something you deserve after everything you have been through. But in reality, it slowly disconnects you from your purpose and from the signals that something important is unfolding around you. The closer you are to a shift, the stronger the pull to look away from it becomes, because distraction thrives in moments where focus is most required. This is why you must become aware of your mental state, especially during times when things feel uncertain or overwhelming. Instead of automatically reacting to every thought or emotion, you have to pause and ask yourself whether what you are focusing on is actually helping you move forward or quietly pulling you away from something greater. Not every feeling deserves your attention, and not every thought deserves your belief. If you allow distraction to control your focus, you risk missing the very thing you have been waiting for, because opportunities do not always wait for clarity, they often require it, and the ability to stay present, aware, and mentally grounded may be the difference between recognizing what is meant for you and watching it pass by unnoticed. There are moments when what is meant to change your life does not arrive in the form you imagined, and this is where many people make a costly mistake. You build a picture in your mind of how your breakthrough should look, how your opportunity should feel, and how your blessing should arrive. And without realizing it, you limit your ability to recognize it when it finally comes. You expect certainty, comfort, and clarity, but sometimes what is sent to elevate you comes wrapped in uncertainty, challenge, or even discomfort. It may look like a difficult conversation you are trying to avoid, a sudden change that disrupts your routine, a person who does not fit your expectations, or an opportunity that feels unfamiliar and risky. Because it does not match what you had imagined, your first instinct is to question it, hesitate, or even reject it completely. This is how life-changing moments are often missed, not because they did not arrive, but because they were misunderstood. Growth rarely comes in forms that feel easy or predictable, and transformation often begins with something that stretches your perspective beyond what feels safe. What appears inconvenient in the beginning may actually be the very thing that opens doors you could not access before. The challenge is that your mind is naturally drawn to what feels familiar, because familiarity creates a sense of control. But progress requires stepping into what is unknown. If you only accept opportunities that match your expectations, you may unknowingly block the ones that were designed to take you further. There is a deeper wisdom required to pause and look beyond the surface, to ask whether something carries value, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Not everything that feels difficult is wrong, and not everything that feels easy is right. Some of the most important shifts in life begin with moments that do not make sense immediately, but reveal their purpose over time. This is why awareness, patience, and openness are essential, because what is being sent to you may not come in a form you recognize instantly, but it carries the potential to reshape your direction in ways you never expected if you are willing to see beyond your assumptions and embrace what is placed in front of you with discernment and courage. There is a powerful truth many people overlook, and it is this: receiving something valuable is not just about wanting it, it is about being ready for it. A gift can arrive at your door, an opportunity can present itself right in front of you, but if your mindset, habits, and emotional state are not aligned with what you are receiving, you may mishandle it, lose it, or fail to recognize its full value. Preparation is what transforms a moment into a lasting change. Without preparation, even the greatest opportunities can slip through your hands. Not because they were not meant for you, but because you were not fully ready to carry what they required. Many people focus only on asking, hoping, and waiting, but they ignore the process of becoming the person who can sustain what they desire. Growth often happens quietly, in the unseen moments where discipline is built, where patience is tested, and where your character is shaped through challenges that feel unrelated to your goals. These moments are not delays, they are preparation. Every lesson you learn, every habit you develop, and every mindset you refine is creating space for what is coming into your life. If you are not emotionally grounded, a sudden opportunity may overwhelm you. If you lack discipline, a new level of success may become difficult to maintain. If your thinking is limited by fear or doubt, you may sabotage what was meant to elevate you. This is why preparation is not optional. It is essential. It is the bridge between receiving and sustaining. You cannot step into a new level while holding on to the same patterns that kept you stuck in the old one. Something within you must evolve to match what is approaching. This may require letting go of certain habits, changing how you respond to challenges, or becoming more intentional with your time and energy. Preparation is not always comfortable because it asks you to grow beyond your current version, but it is necessary if you want to fully step into what is being offered to you. When the moment arrives, there will not always be time to prepare. The preparation must already be done. The opportunity will not slow down to match your readiness. It will appear, and your response will determine whether it becomes a turning point or a missed chance. The truth is, what is coming into your life is not just testing your desire, it is testing your readiness, and the work you do now, even when nothing seems to be happening, is shaping your ability to recognize, receive, and sustain what is meant for you when it finally arrives. There are moments in life when timing carries more weight than effort, more impact than intention, and more consequence than we realize in the moment. You can have the right opportunity, the right idea, even the right people around you, but if you hesitate at the wrong time or delay when action is required, what was meant for you can quietly pass you by. This is the part many people struggle to accept, because we often believe that what is meant for us will always remain available, waiting patiently until we feel fully ready, fully confident, and completely certain. But the truth is, not every opportunity operates that way. Some moments are designed with a window, a specific period where action must be taken, and once that window closes, it does not always reopen in the same form. This is where overthinking becomes dangerous, because instead of trusting the moment and responding with clarity, the mind begins to search for perfect conditions that may never come. You start analyzing every possible outcome, weighing every risk, and waiting for a level of certainty that life rarely provides. While you are thinking, the moment is moving. While you are doubting, the opportunity is shifting. And while you are waiting for a sign, the door may already be starting to close. Hesitation often disguises itself as caution, but there is a difference between being thoughtful and being stuck. Thoughtfulness helps you make wise decisions, but hesitation keeps you in place long after the decision should have been made. The cost of waiting too long is not always immediate, which is why it is easy to ignore. You may not feel the loss right away, but over time, you begin to realize that something could have been different if you had acted when the moment called you. Regret is often born not from failure, but from inaction. From knowing you had a chance and allowed it to slip away because you were waiting for everything to feel perfect. Timing rarely feels perfect, and clarity often comes after movement, not before it. This is why awareness and courage must work together. You have to recognize when a moment matters and be willing to move even when you still have questions. The opportunity in front of you may not wait for you to eliminate every doubt. It may require you to trust enough to take the next step despite them. Because in the end, The difference between those who experience transformation and those who remain in the same place is often not talent, not luck, but the ability to act when the moment arrives instead of watching it pass by unnoticed. There are times when what is being prepared for you is far greater than anything you specifically asked for, and this can be difficult to understand because the human mind naturally limits expectations based on past experiences. You pray for a solution, a small breakthrough, a way out of a difficult situation, but what is actually approaching your life carries the potential to change far more than the single problem you were focused on. It is not just about fixing what is wrong, it is about repositioning you entirely, shifting your direction, your mindset, your environment, and even the way you see yourself. This kind of change can feel overwhelming at first, because it does not just add something new to your life, it requires you to expand beyond the version of yourself that existed before it arrived. Many people unknowingly resist this level of transformation, not because they do not want better, but because better often requires letting go of what feels familiar. You may find yourself questioning whether you are truly ready, whether you deserve what is coming, or whether you can handle the responsibility that comes with it. These thoughts are natural, but they can also become barriers if you allow them to control your response. What is important to understand is that you are not being given something greater than your ability. You are being invited to grow into it. The opportunity itself carries the potential to stretch you, to teach you, and to develop qualities within you that you did not realize you had. What feels too big in the beginning often becomes manageable as you step into it, one decision at a time. This is how transformation works, not all at once, but gradually, as you rise to meet the level that is being presented to you. The challenge is not the size of what is coming, but your willingness to embrace it without shrinking back into old patterns of thinking. If you continue to see yourself through the lens of past limitations, you may struggle to fully accept what is being offered. But if you allow your perspective to expand, you will begin to realize that what once seemed impossible is now within reach. This moment is not just about receiving something new, it is about becoming someone new in the process. What is approaching your life is not simply an answer to a request. It is an invitation to step into a version of yourself that aligns with a greater purpose, a broader vision, and a future that goes beyond what you originally imagined, if you are willing to accept it without fear and move forward with the belief that you are capable of handling what is being placed in front of you. As this message comes to a close, everything you have just heard leads to one simple but powerful truth. Your life can change in a moment, but that moment must be recognized, received, and acted upon. What is approaching you is not random, not accidental, and not meant to confuse you. It is meant to elevate you. But elevation requires awareness. It requires you to stay present when distractions try to pull you away, to stay open when things do not look the way you expected, and to stay prepared so that when the opportunity arrives, you do not hesitate or mishandle it. Too many people spend their lives waiting for change, while unknowingly ignoring the very things that were sent to create it. They look back not with gratitude, but with regret, realizing that what they were praying for had already come and gone because they were not ready to see it for what it was. Right now, you are being reminded that you are closer than you think. The pressure you have been feeling, the confusion, the unexpected shifts, these are not always signs of things falling apart, but often signs that something is being rearranged in your favor. The key is not to panic, not to withdraw, and not to lose focus. The key is to remain aware, grounded, and willing to move when the moment calls you. Because when it does, it may not come with a loud announcement. It may come quietly, unexpectedly, and quickly. And in that moment, your response will determine everything. So as you leave this message, carry this with you. Stay alert, stay ready, and do not underestimate what can happen in a single moment of clarity and courage. What is coming to your door may not look like what you imagined, but it carries the power to transform your direction in ways you cannot yet fully see. Do not let distraction blind you, do not let doubt delay you, and do not let fear convince you to ignore what could change your life. Your next chapter is not waiting somewhere far away. It is approaching you now, and when it arrives, make sure you are ready to open the door.